What's up? Welcome. Trying out a live vertical. I just got an email from YouTube talking about these new live verticals. Let's see if anyone joins. Doubtful, right? I'll hang out for a few minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably delete this. I don't think it'll be I don't think I'll leave it on the channel, but yeah, if anyone joins and wants to talk about Flutter or startups or whatnot. Oh, there we go. We got someone. Got someone joining. Hello and welcome. Yeah, first time I'm trying out this live vertical mobile. So yeah, welcome. Maybe I don't know if there's like a chat feature that works on this. I feel like it's actually this is kind of a difficult format on the phone, I would guess, because normally when you're live on the computer, you can have your multiple screens. But all right, we got 3 people now. Moving on. Here we go. There's some chat. Yeah, chat works. Awesome. So I wonder, are you watching this on your computer then, or are you watching this on your phone? Because I wonder if the live version is similar to how you would watch like a YouTube live, like a normal live stream. The phone. Okay, cool. Yeah, I actually had to delete I just re-downloaded the YouTube app, and they sent me an email and they're like, "Oh, you should try doing like a live thing like this, like a mobile one." So I figured I'd check it out, but yeah, I got so addicted to scrolling YouTube and Instagram, and I never had TikTok, so that one wasn't an issue, but it's the same concept, right? Just scrolling. So yeah, definitely I had to remove those from my phone to stay a little bit more focused, but yeah, I got the app back. They got me to download it again, so here we are. Yeah, okay, I see the chat now. Nice. So yeah, what has everyone what have you been working on? I still call me Bruce, the main guy in chat right now. Are you a Flutter developer, or just joined up the live chat? I feel like this channel, like the 1ManStartup channel, ultimately became like a Flutter channel, which originally was never actually my intent, but it worked out. I mean, I'm still a huge fan of Flutter, and I feel like that's probably mostly what the channel is known for now. But the original idea was to build an app quickly and then build a business out of it, which um, is definitely a lot. It's a lot more difficult than I was pretty naive, I guess, when doing that, and in a lot of ways, I guess I still am because I'm still trying to do that. But yeah, I don't do as many videos as I used to. But yeah, I mean, the live thing could be an interesting format because this is definitely easier. There's no editing involved. Although I don't think I would do it on my phone like this. I would probably end up doing it on my computer so you could do some code as well. Um, yeah, I don't know what else. I guess what's going on with me now is I'm working on a Flutter app still. I don't know if you guys that are in this chat have been following the channel at all, or if this just pops up. But yeah, I'm working on a Flutter app that does audio, almost like podcast conversations. So you could kind of have a podcast with your friends, but it's like a private podcast. So you're not actually sharing it with the world or making it public or any of that. So um, yeah, if that sounds interesting, or if anyone wants to talk more about podcasting, I'm definitely trying to learn more about that space as a whole, um, and then yeah, just keep building Flutter apps. That's probably what I'll be doing for at least the next foreseeable future. But yeah, does anyone have any questions or anything that I could maybe answer? If not, I guess I could talk more about the app in general. Um, Hi there. I don't know. Is it Archie Kit? It's hard for me to read that, to be honest with you. I don't know that I could, I don't know that I'm saying that. I'm definitely not pronouncing that correctly. But hi, welcome. Are you a Flutter developer? It doesn't let me like dig into the profile, unfortunately, for the people that like from the chat. I did do a couple live streams like a long time ago on the desktop, and those were pretty cool. But I feel like it was, yeah, it was definitely easier than I think on the computer. I mean, I feel like it's probably a good name. It's maybe just like regionally, like I think like a lot of people in the U.S. like myself, when we see these names that are like not common in the U.S., we're just so our mind just like short circuits. We have nothing. We have like no way to. I'm not also pretty bad at like reading. I would say like I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm dyslexic, but I think I'm like really bad at like sounding things out and like spelling and reading, which also is maybe a contributing factor with names. Yeah, I was always better at like math and science, which I guess is maybe why I became like a software developer. But yeah, not reading was definitely not my strength. Although I do like reading, like I do read, but not. Yeah, I don't know. My spelling is pretty bad. Thank God for autocorrect. Um, Hi, KP. Nice to have you joining us here. Let's see. Last entry was too long. Plan for future Flutter usage. Uh, I wonder what you mean by last entry, but not just try to reorganize office space after newborn earlier this year and find time to dabble. Yeah, so I think you're probably talking about doing some like Flutter development, but sounds like you have you're in a busy time period of your life with a newborn and all of that. So it's definitely, yeah, that's definitely always a challenge to like balance, like especially if it's like kind of like a side project or like or like even like if you're trying to learn Flutter or learn a new language. It's always I think it's always difficult to, yeah, to like find time to focus on that stuff and then like context switch, especially with like, yeah, family and different stuff. Oh, I see what you mean. Like the last chat text you entered was too long, so maybe it got cut off, or they didn't let you send it. Um, and then we got a Flutter developer and building some apps in India, and have built multiple apps. Awesome, yeah. What are your guys' thoughts? I wonder on or let's see, what was this? Now I want to work in Fang and Mang. I haven't heard of Mang. I wonder what the M is. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. That's probably what they are, right? And what was the F then? Facebook. So, yeah, both of those, I guess. Um, yeah, for foreign clients, any idea you have? Because I just 18. I don't know. I've never worked at any of those really big tech companies. From what I hear though, it's useful to do some of those like leak code problems or like at least be able to answer some of those like coding interview style questions. That seems less important in like startup and like smaller companies, which are mostly what I have worked for. With those, I feel like they're more interested in like what you've done. Not to say that like these big companies aren't going to be interested in what you've done as well, but they want to be able to. It seems like everyone, they have like such a big applicant pool, like Google. Let's say Google for example, that like they need ways to weed out people, very in very big chunks. I think so. It's more of like a practical thing. It's like we can like them if they have like 1,000 applicants and they can send out a little quick code test and they're like, can you complete this code test, and then only like 100 people complete it, then that's good for them because they can like cut out 900 of the applicants. Whereas I think with like startup and smaller companies, if they get even if their applicant pool is probably a little bit smaller or it's more regional based, and not as many people want to work there, so they have a little bit more, I guess, flexibility in that kind of aspect of it. But yeah, it's hard. I don't know. I think it's very competitive, obviously, because a lot of people want to work there, and they are they definitely attract the best talent. So so yeah, best of luck. But I don't really have any good information there, other than that, which isn't even. Yeah, I mean, I've never actually even applied to any of those myself. Let's see. Yeah, last chat text entered was too many characters. Yeah, that's interesting. So they must have like a character limit, and then they just don't tell you and cut it off. But let's see. Uh, yeah, very difficult, especially things change so much in a small amount of time. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't have any kids, but I could imagine that's a huge life like event, of course. And I mean, everything. I feel like everything kind of your whole perspective, I would imagine, kind of changes in a lot of ways, and maybe in a lot of ways you wouldn't have even thought of before it happened. From my friends that have kids, it seems like that those first few months are always like just exhausting, and they like never really get any sleep for like several months. And so yeah, best of luck. Let's see. Have I tried Web3 or blockchain? Uh, I looked into it a little bit, but I never really got too deep into it. I was looking at like NFT stuff back, I guess maybe like 2 or 3, of having like almost like automated NFTs or a way to like create assets that then would like automate into an NFT. But I never really got too deep into it, and I never even uh, yeah, I never really like even wrote any code in that space. But what was the thing called? It was like Open Seas maybe was like a big one, and I was looking into like their tools and that kind of stuff. But no, I haven't really done much blockchain. I do think there is potentially a place for it in this one app I'm building, which is like an audio. Um, it is basically like a way to have audio conversations, but it could be interesting to put or to like put some of that on the blockchain. Like you could have almost like news or like conversations on the blockchain. So it's almost like you have your way of like validating that this thing took place. But yeah, I don't know that that's necessarily even valuable or worth it, but yeah, that is an idea I might explore someday. What's 1Man Startup? Yeah, 1Man Startup. The channel used to be channel's been kind of quiet lately, but the original idea of it was to build a mobile app and show basically do like the build in public on YouTube. And this was back in 2019 when I began it. And at the time, I was in between jobs and was planning to build a mobile app. So actually, uh, yeah, build a mobile app, and I was gonna do it with Flutter. So I started using Flutter, and the 1Man Startup channel ended up kind of becoming more heavy on the Flutter tutorials. So it really ended up being like kind of like a Flutter channel. So and Flutter is like the programming framework that you could build cross-platform apps. But yeah, the idea was to kind of show that like you can build an app by yourself and launch it and monetize it. Um, that being said, I never really, I have launched a few apps, but I haven't made like life-changing money off of them, or even like enough to like not have to do freelance work. So in a lot of ways, it's still a work in progress, the channel and the yeah, the channel and the idea behind it, but it's not. I think there's a lot of other value too, even if the project fails. I guess. I mean, if you like your experience, of course, will go up. You'll have like a project that you worked on, and you'll be able to potentially use that as leverage to get a job. But for me, I enjoy trying to build these things, and I like building. I like building apps that I want to build, essentially, not necessarily just building an app for another company. So yeah, it's still fun for me. The videos now, I do think with this generative AI stuff and like ChatGPT, it does seem to me that people don't want to watch programming tutorials as much anymore. So it seems like that kind of style of content is kind of on a downtrend. Now, that's a theory. Maybe it's just my channel specifically is more on a downtrend, but it does seem like and I notice this myself, like when I have a programming problem, I'll ask, ChatGPT or one of these other kind of AI powered type things to explain things to me or help me figure it out. And it's actually a lot quicker and a lot easier than it is to search it on Google, find it in either Stack Overflow, or find a YouTube tutorial, which is maybe like 10 or 20 minutes. Um, so yeah, I wonder what your guys' thoughts are on that. If you have the same experience, or if you still use YouTube videos for learning how to code, or if you're more into the AI stuff now as well. Yeah, gotta go tend to the baby. Gotta definitely take care of that. But yeah, glad to have had you here in this first mobile live stream. And let's see what we got. Another question here. I'll probably wrap this up in a bit, but do you have an app idea which you are working on? I can help for free. I just need more experience. Or can you guide us with open source contribution and GSOC? I'm not sure what GSOC is, but I'm working on an app called Rhodes Audio right now. You can go, if you go to rhodesaudio.com, so like ROADS audio.com. That is the app I'm currently building. Google Summer of Code. Oh, okay. So do they have like, I'm not familiar with what that is. Is that something you like apply to, or is it just more like a general thing where they're like do something, like build something over your summer type thing? Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You can send me an email. You can send me an email if you're interested in like kind of contributing to Roads in kind of like a intern fashion. I definitely don't have like a budget at all to pay, unfortunately. So yeah, it could be potentially beneficial for both of us. I could help teach you a few things, or um, yeah, I don't know, and then yeah, we can go from there. But I'd have to see. Yeah, you can send me an email and let me know. Or we could just talk through there. I also have the Discord channel. You could just actually DM me on the Discord if that's easier. If you use Discord, either way, I think the Discord is linked this on this channel. So that should be easy to find. Yeah, I don't know. I personally think the best way to kind of get, I guess, like my guidance would be is like you should think of just an idea and build that, and like try and build that, and even just think of an idea of an app that you want to see, or it could even be like it could kind of already exist. It doesn't need to be like a very new thing. But if you build something and deploy it, and you have a live app on the store, or even a website for that matter, that goes a long way when you're trying to get a job, because it basically shows that you can handle the entire pipeline of building, and you've touched like every point of it. And even if the app isn't that good, it's still impressive to have anything live, I think. And I did used to do a bit of hiring, so that was always like that was definitely like, it was more like web development though, and that was always something I looked at, was like what kind of websites do you have live? Like if you don't even have a website live, then how are you applying for a web development job? Because it's pretty easy to build and deploy a website, in my opinion. And that's something I think everyone could figure out, at least in like a very simple like static website form. Let's see. I got the Notion to become a coder back in 2013, but I was turned off by the wokeness of the people I was at boot camp with. Yeah, I've never done a boot camp, but I wonder if you mean like the instructors, or do you mean the people in your class with you, or like in the boot camp with you? Boot camps are like, I think they can be very valuable, but there's also, I think, the like kind of like take advantage fake guru boot camps as well, where they're like, oh, come do this boot camp, pay me like 2 grand or whatever they charge, 10 grand, something crazy. And then they're like, yeah, I'll teach you how to code. And they probably do teach you how to code. There probably is like a nice curriculum. But honestly, if you don't have any programming experience, you can learn the basics online for free so easily. And that I think is the key. Like the harder thing is to like I think it's pretty I think there's so many good resources for free out there on Google to like just googling it and YouTube, and even if you get a Udemy course for like $50, you can learn how to build a website and deploy it and and I don't know. I think also there's like you have to be like realistic about the scope of building, because like take an app like Instagram, for example. Like if you want to build the next Instagram, or like even an Instagram clone, you have to understand that that app is built by like teams of people. So it's not really a good type of project to take on as an individual. Although you can do like a version of it that you can definitely build by yourself, but I wouldn't necessarily start with that. I would start with something like pretty simple, and then build up to the bigger thing like that. But yeah, it's always going to be more fun if you have like an app idea or a website idea that you want to build and you want to have, and then if you're building that, you kind of just like, I mean, that's been a lot of my experiences. Like you figure out how to make things work as it goes. Like for example, you're like, oh, I need people to be able to upload an image. So then you go and search how to upload images to whatever framework you're doing. If you're using Flutter, how to upload images in Flutter, and then like find a tutorial with that, and then you should be, you build it like step by step that way. But yeah, I don't know. I have met people like that woke kind of like tech, like like person. I feel like I know what you're talking about, where they, or maybe it's not even a woke one, but I've met a few where they like think they're better than everyone, and they're kind of have this like smugness to them, and it's like in my experience that's not been a lot of programmers, but that I have noticed with some programmers who are like almost like newer to programming, but they got into programming like for the wrong reason. And I would say the reason that those people got into programming was like to make money and have the remote aspect of life, which fair enough, it's a good reason to get into it. But I also think if you're getting into programming for that reason, it's kind of like it's gonna be like very difficult for you. Like you're not going to enjoy it. So there's probably a lot better things you could do with your life and your time. Um, but yeah, DM'd on Discord. Awesome. Yeah, I'll check that out when this is over. And yeah, actually, I probably will end this here unless anyone else has any questions. It's like 23 minutes, but yeah, this is an interesting format. Maybe I'll do a couple more of these, but I don't know. I yeah, I don't of YouTube Live. It's easier, that's for sure. Like this is way easier than building or like making an actual proper YouTube video. So there's that. All right, I'll read these last two and then I'll probably cut it. Have an idea, an app that monitors a YouTube channel for new videos and then automatically downloads the videos and stores it somewhere to archive it against being removed. It's an interesting idea. I just don't know if there's like a real need for that. Like, um, yeah, you also might run into some issues with YouTube's terms of service. I'm not sure like what they allow in terms of like, can you store their YouTube videos offline in a different system? So that would be something to look into. Um, I don't know. Also, like, what if, for example, like I upload a video and then I decide I don't want that video to be live anymore. Like, it's not YouTube censoring it; it's me, the creator, deciding to remove that. It seems like that would then still be in your archive, which could be like kind of a problem, I guess. Although I guess you have to kind of assume once it's uploaded, it's essentially public. Yeah, my suspicion though is that that doesn't seem it doesn't seem like, if it seems like something that you would like to have personally, then maybe, but it seems like a very big project and and like a hard, it seems like a hard thing to build, in that you're gonna have to like you're basically gonna have to like clone YouTube, like in like the data storage alone, you would have to like copy everything that they upload to your own server, I guess, which seems, yeah, I wonder maybe if maybe a better way to do it could be potentially like a Chrome plugin where you could almost just track like this YouTube URL used to exist and and then like pull almost just metadata. Like you could be like, it had this title and it had this many views, and then almost do it that way instead of actually copying the actual video. So it would be almost more like you would just be telling them like like it did exist, but it's gone now. I don't know. But yeah, definitely if if you feel like it's something that you would resonate, or like that you want to build and you want to see, it's worth definitely at least starting out, trying it, get like a very small version of it up, and then see what happens. What do you about probably what do I think about Golang? I used Golang several years ago. I never really got too deep into it. I found it kind of like difficult actually to write. But I didn't have like a good grasp of the language. So probably if I were to revisit it now, it would be a little bit different. But yeah, I haven't used it too much. I don't think I think there's probably places for it, but I think there's probably easier things to use in like the indie dev world, if that makes sense. Uh, and that, like, I guess I don't know if the benefits are enough to. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about Golang to really talk on it, but yeah, to me it seems like for me personally, it wouldn't be really worth me learning it because I already have a pretty good foundation in a couple other languages, and I don't see the main benefit of Golang to like jump to use it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think I'll cut it at that. We're at about 30 minutes, so yeah, this was pretty cool. Maybe we'll do this again. Thanks for joining on, and yeah, we'll maybe we'll talk again on the next stream.